Good morning, class. In today's class, we are going to discuss regarding the basic circuits designs. Okay, which is the last topic of our second unit. So we know that we combine different elementary gates to form digital circuits, right? That is nothing but elementary gates are the basic building blocks of all the digital circuits. Whether the circuits may be a sequential circuit or combination circuits or the combination of the both. Okay, or else we can split a very big digital circuit into elementary gates or else small modules. We can big break. That means we can split up the a very big circuit into small elementary gates or else any small modules. Okay, so we have seen in the previous chapter the combinational circuits, and also in this chapter we have seen the sequential circuit also. Okay, for each and everything we have seen with some examples. Now we have to see the step-by-step procedure. We have to see the step-by-step procedure how to design a very big circuit. Okay. So any digital circuit involved, it may be realized in terms of gate primitives. Okay. Here we are giving the step-by-step procedure. So what is the procedure for designing a very big circuit? Or else if at all, if you want to design a complex circuit, what you have to do? So first we have to draw the circuit in terms of gates. Not only the gates, in terms of other small basic level building blocks. Okay. So we have to name the gates. We have to name the gates and signal and the signals. What are the input signals we require and output signals require? Okay. Or other building blocks. What are its inputs and what are its outputs? And we should have some idea. The same manner, we should have some idea such a way that how many extra temporary nets are required. Temporary nets in the sense what we are using here will be generally a wire, right? So with the same nomenclature, do the design description. Okay, what is this design description? Design description is nothing but you write your module. Okay, you have to write a module for it. That means we have to write coding, Verilog code for our gates, basic gates, whatever the basic gates we have or the basic building blocks we have. With the same thing, we'll be writing this basic basic blocks description, Verilog description we'll be writing there. We will be using these functional blocks like encoder, decoder, half adder, full adder, or basic gates. Extra we'll be using and we'll be writing the code, and we have to involve them more and more. Okay, so we have to treat each as a building block with the corresponding inputs and outputs. So what we want to do here is for each and every building block we have some inputs and some outputs. Okay, we have some inputs and some outputs. So with that building blocks or that inputs and outputs, we have to write the coding individually. And for clubbing up all those individual building blocks, we may take the help of this encoders, decoders, and multiplexers also, right? So see that make more involved circuits in terms of building blocks as far as possible. Okay, that means instead of writing code for every building block, we better call, if necessary, we call some other building blocks into your present building blocks, such a way that instead of writing a very big code, we can reduce it, right? So that is instantiation. Okay, instantiation of module with another. Okay, within the other. So first what we have to do, first you think of, if you are required to do a very big circuit, what you have to do, first you have to identify what are the gates. Okay, what are the gates, that means you have to draw the gate level diagrams, and how many, that means you can split that a very big circuit into small modules, and you have to write the coding for each and every single module, which are small modules. Okay, and when you think of a very big circuit, you have to think of what are the inputs and what are the outputs. The same fashion, when you think of small modules also, you have to think of basic inputs and what are the outputs. And to connect this basic building blocks outputs to the other gates inputs, we may sometimes require this temporary signals that we can indicate with the help of a wire. Okay, we have to do that. Okay, with the same nomenclature, that means with the same type of names, we have to we have to do the HDL, Verilog HDL description. Okay, and at last we may take the help of encoders, decoders, okay, and also these muxes and demuxes to combine all those individual ones. Okay, the basic building blocks for what we can use, these functional building blocks will be generally encoder, decoder, and half interest ladders, and many more like this, right? So we have to involve more when you design, okay, by your own. And not only that, instead of designing everything in separate blocks, sometimes it is necessary, or sometimes it is easy to call one building block in another building block for doing some particular function and giving a result, right? Those things we will be doing, right? So to understand this total thing, we will take the help of an ALU. ALU is nothing but an arithmetic and logic unit. So arithmetic and logic unit. What does this arithmetic and logic unit do? So we may have some n number of functionalities. Say we may have some n number of functionalities. Among those, one may be addition of two 4-bit numbers. The other one may be complementing all the bits of 4-bit vector. The other one may be bit by bit add operations of two nibbles, and bit by bit XOR operation of two nibbles. Likewise, we may have some addition, some subtraction, some multiplication, some division, like this. We may have different types of operations. These different type of operations can be done in the single ALU. Okay. For example, we are taking only the 4 functions right now. So generally, when we have 4 functionalities, we require 2 bits, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. That means we require 2 selection lines to select among these 4. Okay, this thing we have already performed in the using VHDL, right? Where we have selection lines as S0 and S1. Okay, S1 and S0 are the 2 selection lines, or we can also give the selection line S a 2-bit vector, and for 0, 0, for S becoming 0, 0, it to perform some operation, some addition, and 0 1 it may be doing subtraction, and for 1 0 it may be performing multiplication between the same bits a and b, between two vectors a and b. Okay, that vector may be a 4 bit, and a may be 4 bit and b may be 4 bit. Likewise, we may also perform some other operation for one word. Okay, these things. Okay, we have a set of two more select bits to decide which function has to be done now. That means based on selection line only, we are selecting any of the function at present what it has to do. So here we have actually we have a step-by-step procedure for doing any of the design or any of the works, right? Generally we might have studied in our other subjects also. Generally we used to have a flow chart. First what we have to design, next what we have to design, next what we have to design, and how to interlink those. What is the work we are going to do in future, we are writing on a paper and doing that one. First what we are doing here is we have four functionalities. First we have to write the codes for all the four functionalities. Then we will think of how to club these four, how to club these four, and get the final 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 module. For clubbing up, we may take the help of some decoder and also with the help of some mux. Okay, so first we will see. First we are taking the help of um, two 4-bit numbers. Okay, first we are seeing here this. See here, this is a 4-bit addition of 4-bit gate, right? We have some carry, and A is 4 bit, B is 4 bit, and C in is n single bit. See here, input A and B are the two inputs which are of 4 bit. 3 down to 0 means 4 bit. Input is seen. Okay, and we can also, since inputs are 4 bit, automatically sum will be of 4 bit, and we will also have a extra carry at last. Okay, so we require some intermediate signal, so we are writing a wire, a 3-bit wire. Okay, so we assume here already we have written the program for full ladder. Okay, so in the previous classes we already wrote program for the full ladder. So I am calling it with its name fa. Full ladder is with its name fa. Now I am instantiating it. Okay, so this is the temporary name. What I can write anything here, right? Okay, so, so at the first level, my so I'm having a as 1 bit. So you have here like this, right? This is the a of 3 bit. Okay, a of 3, a of 2, a of 1. A of 1 and a of 0. Okay, so in the similar fashion we will have b of 3, b of 2, b of 1, and b of 0. So we have to add individual bits, right? We have b of 0. So this a of 0 bit and b of 0 bit will be added, and here we have c in, right? So we have c in also. First one is the c in. It's a direct input, right? This is direct input. So we take the help of a full adder. The first, this full adder A naught. This full adder A naught is for adding this bits A of 0 and B of 0 and C in. These are the inputs, and it is going to produce a sum. And that sum we are directly giving it to sum of 0 bit. It produces a carry, and we are writing that I am storing that carry, what I am getting now, in CC of 0, which is a signal. Okay, now I make this instead of C in, I make this CC of 0 as input, and I will take the help of full adder and I will add these 3 bits, and it is going to produce some carry. It will be stored in CC of 1, and the sum will be stored in sum of 1 bit. Okay, sums 1 bit. Okay, and this what I get the carry here, I am going to use that one once again as an input, with the A of 2 and B of 2 as inputs, and now it is going to produce a carry of now what the carry is going to produce, I am giving it as CC2, and I am giving the sum directly to the sum of 2. Now finally this CC of 2 is involved as an input with the combination of A of 3 and B of 3 for a full ladder, and at last whatever the carry we are getting, we are giving it to the carry bit, directly carry bit. The carry is a single bit, right? And sum of 3 we have obtained there. So this is for an adder. First part of our total ALU is writing the code for individual modules. Let the first module here, what we are using is addition of 4-bit numbers, right? Okay, then so we for this for the same thing we will be so see here. So in the similar fashion, we have tried the test bench for it to verify whether we have written the correct code or not. That means we are simulating it. So for that we write this test bench. Okay. So you know how to give the inputs. It's a is a 4-bit and hexa number. If I write only single 0 means it is automatically it's taking 4 bits as zeros, right? It is 0. That means for B also it's a 4-bit and H is a 0 hexadecimal number, and the C input is a binary one. So we have to give either 0 or 1 single bit ones. Okay. So you know how to give this, and you know how to input. So instead of giving this sum, the sum what we have, they are giving it as out sum and carry as out carry while printing, right? So this is the circuit what we have done. So we have at the initial stage a of 0 for a naught is one gate, that is to perform the sum between a of 0 and b of 0 and C in. Okay, then we have A1. We have A of 1, B of 1, and CC of 0. Right here, A of 2, B of 2, and CC of 1. And this is the final one. We can draw down also, but for our convenience, it is drawn here, right? Okay. Generally, what we used to think when in a chip, you will be observing this total thing will be in a single block. You will be seeing only this carry and this sum and A of 0, B of 0, and the C of in. For that reason only, it is mentioned like that. Just okay. So next, if you want to perform and operation between two nibbles, that means if your A bit, your A is a 4 bit and B is a 4 bit, you want to perform AND operation between each and every corresponding bits, A of 0 with B of 0 AND operation, and producing output, right? That is the operation. Another operation what we want to do in our ALU. So this is 4-bit adder module, just like this. So this is an AND, okay? We can directly call B of 0 and A of 0 having some bits operated as and it is going to produce output in C of 0. Okay, directly we can have as an output. So, okay, output C of, we don't have any carries here, so for us no problem, right? We don't have any carries, and we are not going to give it to carrying forward that carry to the other bits, so it's not problem, no problem for us. We don't require any extra wires also. Directly we are performing with the help of respect to gates. So, respect to AND gates will be used there. A of 3 and B of 3. So A is a 4-bit and B is a 4-bit. So corresponding bits are given there. So actually it should be like this for easy understanding. So it may be performing A of 3, and B of 3. Here A of 2 and B of 2. Here A of 1 and B of 1. Here A of 0 and B of 0. And combinedly it is going to give as an output for C3 down to 0, right? So XOR gate is also similar. Previously we have done A is a 4-bit and B is a 4-bit. We have performed AND operation. Now we are performing XOR operation only. Okay. So previously we have this is also unnecessary for us. This is not necessary for us here, and this is also not necessary. Directly we can do this XOR operation. So just we are calling with the temporary names also here. In the previous one we have not called with the temporary names. It is also possible. Okay, you know how to perform that. So what is the fourth function? That is the complementing. Complementing, just this is also complementing is performing the NOT, right? A bit, A is a 4-bit, and C is the output of the complemented bits. So A of 0, its complement is in the C of 0. Likewise, this is the one. So this is the synthesis diagram for A of 3 down to 0. It became C3 down to 0. Every bits which are present in the A of A3 down to 0 is complemented and is given as C3 down to 0. Now here comes the concept of using decoder. So what is the function of a decoder? So based on our inputs, it has to highlight something and it has to produce some output, right? So you know A and B will be the inputs, and enable is the signal used to enable this decoder. Okay, and Here input is b. B is here, b is of 2 bit, that is 1 down to 0, that is the selection signal, right? B is the selection signal. Okay, and a is a 4 bit signal. Okay, so we have input as enable. So first and foremost what we are doing is we are taking b of 1 and we are negotiating it and storing it in bb of 1, and b of 0 it is, we are negotiating it and we are storing in bb of 0. So it is performing some AND operations. Okay, so we are performing some AND operation between bb of 0, bb of 1, and enable and a of zeros. Okay, that is nothing but a combination bb of 0 and b of 1 in the sense it's combination of 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1s. Okay, that thing we can analyze there. So this is the decoder what we have designed, and this is the mux. We are combining this decoder and mux finally to form our ALU gate. Okay, so this is the final ALU gate. So this is module ALU for 4-bit gate, right? So that means the topmost bit is 4th bit only here. That means we should not have more than 4 bits of inputs A and B, and outputs also should be in the 4 bits. If you sometimes we used to forget, sometimes we may write 4 here, somewhere else 4. It means it is mismatching. You will get an error. Okay, if the number of bits are not matching, you may get some error. If you left unknowingly, if you have left some of the bits without any operation, also it is showing some errors. Okay, see here A, B, and carry C in C enable, and we have yes also selection line S. So A is of 4 bit and B is of 4 bit. S is the selection line. It is of 2 bit, that is 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. So if it is of 0 0 means it has to perform one operation. That means the function out of the 4 functionalities it has to perform one operation. So we have inputs C enable and C ins. Okay, we also have an output vector of 4 bit. Okay, here we have 3.0. Why we and we have an output of carry. Why in the first module you can see where we have used the full adders and at last it is going to produce some extra carry, right? That to store that we are using this, and thus for the same thing we are requiring some carry input also, single bit. So this is to enable that particular chip enable. So we are calling it as CEN, chip enable. Okay, so we have the wire also, a wire of 4 bit to store this all the we have 4 different types of modules. Okay, we have 4 different types of modules, and each module is to produce some output that will be stored there in this temporary storage. Okay, so we have 4 different types of functionalities. So after performing those corresponding operations, they used to produce some output. That output, that particular functionality output will be stored in these data 0, data 1, data 2, and data 3. And we also have an enable that it is also becoming as a 4 bit now. And we also have a wire with the carry 1. Okay, generally how you will be knowing is when you are keep on writing the code, then only you will be identifying these concepts and extra wires. and you can insert in between also, right? Now we are using a 2 by 4 decoder. So here the output is enable. We have chip enable, and with the selection line of 2-bit, we have got 4-bit outputs there, where we have seen the outputs of AND gates. So first, what is this? This is the first module what we have done. 4-bit AND gate. Okay, sorry. We have A 4-bit and B 4-bit, and we performed there some addition of A with B with the help of some full adders we have seen. So see here what we got here now. It's data 0. The sum what we have stored is stored in this wire now, which is a temporary signal. Data 0 and carry 1. The carry what we got there is stored here. And now A comma B comma C in. So here A is 3 bits. A is 3 bit. Sorry, A is 4 bit and B is also 4 bit, and C in is this one. Whatever we have used there, now we are instantiating it. Now we are writing a corresponding local values what we are using now in this module. Okay. The similar fashion for the complement gate also. We are storing the data what we are getting as an output in the data 1. Okay, there we have used C only. Okay. Instead of that, now we are using data 1. The values which are present in A will be complemented and kept in the data 1. And XOR gate, the bits which are present A of 0 XOR with B of 0, and it is stored in the data of 0, data 2 of 0 now. Okay. In a similar fashion for rest all the bits also it is stored, and for AND gate 4 also it is also same thing will be done. A of 0 and operated with B of 0, and it is stored in the data 3 of 0. The similar fashion for all the rest of the 3 bits also. So here, see here we are using a conditional tri-state buffer. Okay, tri-state buffer. But if of 1 we are using, if chip enable is 1, if chip enable is 1, the carry 1 what we are having will be stored in the carry signal. Okay, what is, see here what we have written here in this gate. We have used a temporary signal carry 1. Okay. The temporary signal carry 1 has to go to the carry final output carry. For that purpose we have written here buff if 1, buff if 1. This is the thinking, as we are thinking this one as a gate 5. Okay. So if chip enable is 1, automatically when the carry is carry, what the value present in carry 1 will be going to the carry, right? Next, so we are using MUX for logic ALU. So what are why we are writing M1, M2, M3? These are temporary names, but we are writing them as a modules, right? M means just to indicate it's a module. We are calling those modules, right? So for E of 0, E is of also 4 bit, right? E is also of 4 bit. Based on E of 0, the data okay, it is, so if E of 0 is enabled, the data which is present in D of 0, the data of 0 will be forwarded to C. If E of 1 is enabled, so if E of 1 is 1, automatically data 1 will be going into C. And E of 2, based on E of 2, the data 2 will be going to C. E of 3, the data 3 is going to C. Okay. At last, our output will be only C here. So our output is only C. Okay. So this is the chip enable. This is the chip enable. Selection line is 2 bits. If these 2 bits are 0, 0, selection line S is of 2, 0, 0, 0, E of 0 will be 1, and that will be going automatically. That's the thing what we have written here. That will be going to the data 0. The selection line S is 0, 1, then E of 0 bit will be E of 1 will be going to data 1, and it is E of 1 data will be going to the C. Right. So that is the functionality of muxes and the decoder. We are combining both decoder and the mux to do this our total operation of arithmetic and logic. This is the total thing of our arithmetic and logic unit. Okay. So you can see here now. So this is for complementing of the bits. This is for addition of 4 bits which are present in A with the B, and this is for XOR gate, and this is for the AND gate. So this complementing in the sense inverter types. So based on, so this is the decoder, right? We are combining this decoder. Why we are using this decoder is to enable the corresponding module and making its output transferring that output to the muxes, and that from the mux it is going to output. From the mux it is going to the output. That means we are enabling corresponding module, and the output what we are getting is stored in that corresponding module mux, and after enabling those mux it is transferred to the output. Okay. So that is the ALU. So we have some more exercises we can do of your own. Okay. You do that of your own. Okay. So by that we have completed the second unit.